What's going on, YouTube, man? I've been wanting to make this video for the past few days, damn near a week at this point, but I just haven't been able to. I've been busy with school and some other things going on in my life. But if you guys remember, those of you who are subscribed to my channel, 2 videos ago, I made a video. It was a podcast. It was the Debonair Show #9, I believe, and I referenced in that video that I had made a video about 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Basically just kind of roasting him, and I wasn't angry or anything, but, I was just kind of tearing into him a little bit. But I never uploaded that video because I just got super busy. And by the time I wasn't busy, he was locked up. And see, I'm not ever gonna start kicking a man when he's down. And you can't be more down than having your freedom taken away from you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the 6ix9ine situation. When 6ix9ine got locked up, especially after he got sentenced to 28 years, a lot of motherfuckers were on the internet rejoicing, reveling in the fact that he wasn't going to be able to come home and see his family for 28 years. That he was probably going to have to end up dying in prison. That he wasn't out to terrorize them like he used to terrorize them, because 95% of those people weren't saying anything negative about Suge when he was out on the streets. That's just like the 03 Greedo situation, which I made a video about. A lot of people, I'm sorry, I thought I heard something, but a lot of people were talking crazy about 03 Greedo, glad that he was going to go away for 20 years. You just saw him sit up there on Vlad saying he had a 5-year-old daughter, and you're rejoicing in the fact that he's got to go away for 20 years simply because he wasn't a fan of Tupac. You know what I'm saying, man? Niggas are just weird nowadays. And even with the 6ix9ine situation, I saw YG. He had a show out in Australia, and he's sitting there up on the stage talking about, yeah, I don't wish jail on nobody, but fuck 6ix9ine. What kind of nigga is you? Trippy Red, he go to jail, and him and some tubby nigga next to him, they were sitting up there dancing. They dancing and grooving to the music, you know what I'm saying? Doing one of those little, you know that app, I think it's called Thriller, I never used it, but, they're dancing, they're celebrating because 6ix9ine's in jail, man, and it really just exposes. I'm not going to say I'm glad he went to jail, because I'm not. I hope he, free that man. But it really exposes. I'm glad that this situation happened, because it really exposed a lot of y'all. It really exposed what's going on really inside y'all. You have this tough exterior, you got this gangster exterior, but inside, a lot of y'all are weird. You're weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Because no real nigga is gonna rejoice in the fact that somebody else went to jail, whether it be your homie, whether it be a op, a nigga, one of your enemies. It don't matter, or a complete stranger. You're not gonna rejoice in the fact that a nigga goes to jail. That's weak shit, man. And the situation with 6ix9ine is so interesting because there's so many different things. Let me make sure my phone is on Do Not Disturb. I don't want any calls. Hold up, y'all. I'm sorry. But the situation is so interesting, and it's just so many different things that we can learn from this situation. Because there was a lot of people in 6ix9ine's corner who probably could have avoided this situation had they had talked to him. And I'm disappointed in people like 50, because 50 is over 40 years old, and unlike a lot of rappers, 50 was actually doing the things that he rapped about in his yesteryears. But he was too busy buying 6ix9ine jewelry and trolling with him on Instagram. They were troll buddies. They used to, always troll, telling motherfuckers to suck his dick, get the scrap and shit like that, which is all fine and dandy. But at the same time, you should have been taking 6ix9ine back and say, look, man, you can't be telling any and everybody to suck your dick. You can't be telling any and everybody fuck your dead brother. You can't always be getting on Instagram saying you're untouchable. That's not gonna last, and there's gonna be repercussions for your actions. And Fat Joe is one of the few real reputable people, especially from New York, that I've heard that actually came out and talked to that man, sat that man down and told him, look, man, I've been there, I've done that, I felt untouchable. Niggas that know New York history, especially Bronx history, Fat Joe was getting down back in the day. You know what I'm saying? He's not It's no weird shit on his name. So he has the right to actually sit down with people like 6ix9ine and say, look, I've been in the situation you've been in. I felt untouchable. I felt like nobody could disrespect me. I felt like my pull was stronger than anybody in New York. But at the same time, bro, I've gotten older, and you got to realize there's going to be consequences, negative consequences, if you keep, partaking in this sort of behavior. But unfortunately, 6ix9ine didn't listen, and now he's in a situation now where they're trying to throw the book at him and some. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to give him 20 to life. 20 to life. And, unfortunately, it seems like damn near every day there's more and more evidence comes out that just seems like the prosecution's case is just going to be more and more solid. Even his own defense lawyer came out, his defense team came out and said, yeah, it's not looking too good for him. We got our fingers crossed. They basically said we got our fingers crossed because they got video evidence. They said they got a CI, a confidential informant, which I'm going to get to in a second. I saw a video and shit like that. And, as far as the confidential informant goes, there was a fake thing that came out that said academics was the confidential informant, which, of course, he came out and denied it, and I believe him. I don't believe he was the confidential informant. I think it was somebody a lot closer to him. But, a lot of people are getting on academics' page and saying he's a rat, saying he's a snitch, saying he's dry snitching. Well, two things about academics. First and foremost, nigga, anything he can put out, like, for example, that video with 6ix9ine, quote-unquote, ordering the hit on Tato, Chief Keef's cousin. Nigga, we all saw that when it first happened, nigga. So letting it resurface ain't gonna help. The prosecution has all that. The DA office has all of that, man. And they really don't even need it because they got real concrete evidence, or at least so they say, that's gonna really get him put behind bars. The videos is just gonna help. You know what I'm saying? That's just gonna help the judge and the jury believe what they're trying to accuse him of. But, reposting videos ain't gonna do nothing. And, anytime you put something on the internet, especially when you have a platform like him, millions and millions of followers, every time you comment, thousands of people like it, tens upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of people see every little comment you do. You got one of the #1 albums in the country right now after 2.5 days. You pretty much just got to assume that, anything that you say and do will be recorded and it can be used against you at a later time. And in that particular situation, the nigga was on the phone and he saw TMZ right next to him with the big ass cameras in his face. So it wasn't even like it was recorded on some backdoor sneaky shit. The nigga knew he was right there, but he reveled in attention. You know what I'm saying? He thrived off of attention. That's what made 6ix9ine such a superstar in the hip-hop community, and especially in such a short amount of time. Yeah, the nigga makes good music. If you like that kind of music, the music's cool. He's had quite a few hits, and, a lot of them kind of sound the same, and a few of them I'm a fan of, but a few I'm not really a fan of. But he's not known for just having completely original bars saying shit that nobody's ever said before. He's not known for just having a beat selection that we've never heard before. He hasn't done anything just completely out of the ordinary. There's been plenty of rappers like 6ix9ine, Waka Flocka come to mind, DMX comes to mind, Mystical comes to mind. Just screaming, hollering motherfuckers. And I'm not even saying all those 4 people I just named are in the same league, but I'm just saying. But the reason why 6ix9ine was so popular is because he was constantly telling people to suck his dick. He was always being disrespectful. And it got to a certain point where people who weren't able to basically identify that was all a ruse, that it was all just a ruse by him to, gain popularity, they believed it. And when shit didn't never happen to him, he never really took major L's other than that kidnapping shit, people just started believing it, So you can't blame academics. You can't say he's dry snitching if the shit is already out there and that's the shit that 6ix9ine was signing up for. That's what he wanted. And, in case of academics, there's a few other bloggers, but academics is like the biggest one in the hip-hop community. They were buddies. They had each other's personal numbers. But you can't expect academics to have any sort of loyalty to 6ix9ine. You can't expect him to not put those pictures up that could be incriminating in the long run. Putting those videos up that could be incriminating in the long run. You can't expect him to basically withhold all of that stuff because why? Academics was a blogger before he met 6ix9ine. He was a blogger during their relationship out when 6ix9ine was out here on these streets. And he's going to be a blogger whether or not 6ix9ine gets out, whether or not 6ix9ine gets life in prison. He's always going to be a blogger. So he cares about his blog. You know what I'm saying? We know that he exploits people. He exploits people's pain, people's misery, people's, just traumatic memories. He always brings them back up. Look at the War in Chirac channel. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not from Chicago, so it didn't hit me like it did a lot of different people I know from Chicago, because a lot of niggas that's really out there in the streets of Chicago, they can't stand academics because of the way he used to just talk about them like they were zoo animals. You know what I'm saying? And some of the videos were kind of funny. He had the little names for all the rappers. Some of the shit was entertaining, but when you have somebody who has a history like that, how can you expect them to have any sort of loyalty to 6ix9ine once he gets locked up? You really expected him to not come out and put pictures of videos of him up? And the thing about academics is people always clown him for always posting them so much, but he wasn't posting them so much just because they were so cool. He was posting them so much because he knows any and everybody. Anytime anything pertaining to 6ix9ine or Treyway or anything of that sort, it's gonna get millions of hits pretty much overnight. You know what I'm saying? That's why academics was constantly putting him out. 6ix9ine didn't make academics, but he damn sure made him even more popular. And there's a lot of bloggers out there who they blew up after 6ix9ine came out. 6ix9ine made a lot of careers because when you're saying shit, look at somebody like Bosco. Bosco had a cool following before 6ix9ine, but that nigga Bosco posts about, he calls him Punky Brewster. He posts about that nigga damn near every other post, seems like. Why? Because it's going to get attention. It's going to increase your own popularity. So, as far as expecting a lot of these bloggers and shit to have loyalty to him and not be dry snitching, nigga, like I said, first and foremost, the shit is already out there, and it's shit that the prosecution already knows, because, nigga, they had Homeland Security, they had, it was 3 different teams. I think it was Homeland Security, the DEA, and FBI? Or was it I can't remember, man, but just Homeland Security alone, that shows you, man, that they had just so much evidence, man. Because the thing about the feds, and I was actually watching the Trady interview on DJ Vlad, the thing about the feds, nigga, they got a 95% prosecution rate. So they're not even going to arrest you unless they are damn near 100% certain that they can get that conviction. Feds don't like losing. They don't like wasting their time, money, and other resources. If they arrest your fucking ass, they're expecting to not see you back on the streets for a long time. That's the way the RICO system works. Like I said, that's why he's getting so much time. And that's why he's got so many charges, because they watch you for years. They got some shit going back from to September of 2017, over a year ago. They let the shit build up. That way, when they finally arrest you, they can get the shit. That's why he can't get bail. That's why it's going to cost him millions of dollars to walk away from this unscathed. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how the feds work. So, just again, going back to the bloggers, it's really none of their fault. But like I said, man, 6ix9ine is really just a sad situation, because he's an individual who it's very clear that all of this was just a farce. It was all a ruse. He has nothing to do with the streets. He may have been born in the hood. He may have known a lot of niggas from the hood, but it's clear to me, and it's clear to everybody who either knows people, that's really about that, or, maybe you from, whatever the case is, it's clear that that was all a ruse. And then you got niggas like Casanova coming out talking about, nigga, I'm not even gonna go into that. This video ain't about Casanova. I'm not even finna get into that. But, it's just so many different gems that we can all take from this situation, man. And it really just shows you that nobody is untouchable. Nobody. Because I hate to say this, like I said, I don't wish jail on anybody. I don't agree with the shit he was doing back when he was out. But, there's a strong possibility that we'll never see 6ix9ine again. Not out on the streets. There's a strong possibility we will never see him again. He could very well get life in jail. And to the best of my knowledge, he's 23 years old. 23. Mentally, He's about 15 years old. That's why he was always saying, y'all gonna let a kid do this. Y'all gonna let a kid, I'm a kid, I'm a kid. No, nigga, you not a kid. You 23. You're 23 years old, and that's why they're threatening to convict your motherfucking ass for life. For 40 years, 30 years, 50 years, 25 years. Hell, even 10 years. Nobody wants to sit down for no dime. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Because you're a grown-ass man, and you're 100% accountable for your actions. But, you know, niggas like 6ix9ine, you know, just unfortunately, they slipped on a big-ass banana peel and ended up in some shit that they had no business a part of. And, you know, I'm sure he enjoyed the feeling of just being untouchable. Because it really did seem like he was. To people who, you know, to the unkeen eye, it did seem like he was untouchable. Rarely took L's. You know, yeah, there was some shootouts, and yeah, it was a little bit of that, but he was talking crazy for over a year and nothing happened. But these are the consequences. You're always going to be humbled in the end, man. Especially when you're going as hard as him. And like I said, that's why I'm disappointed with people like 50, because 50's always been that type of nigga to diss everybody and always troll. But, you know, there's a very distinct difference in the way 50 handles himself and the way 6ix9ine handles himself. At the bare minimum, you could just chalk it up to really being in the streets or really not being in the streets. Because if you really not built for that street shit, nigga, and you try to get involved in that shit, mistakes are gonna be made. And unfortunately, he made mistake after mistake after mistake to the point where the feds got enough evidence, they had enough evidence to arrest him, and nigga, they got a 95% prosecution rate. 95% conviction rate, man. And it really is sad. It really is. You know, because he actually had, I mean, he had so much potential. You know, he had already reached superstardom, but he has so much potential to do so much more. You know, he's not a kid, but in the grand scheme of things, he kind of is, just off the simple fact that, you know, rappers can rap well into their 30s, well into their 40s, 50s, you know, and there's not too much rappers that are, you know, alive that are older than their 50s or early 60s, but you know what I'm saying? He had so much potential to accomplish so many great things. The Dummy Boy album, he's not even out right now to see his success. He's got to hear about his success over a jail phone from a cell where he's getting his motherfucking ass beat. I saw different blogs and shit. You know, I don't know how much validity it is to these accusations, but they were saying, or allegations, but they were saying he was in courtroom with his face all swollen up and looked like one of his eyes was kind of black. He was trembling, and I bet he was trembling, nigga, because he knows he done fucked up, and he knows he can't survive in jail. You know what I'm saying? That's why they transferred him to that new facility. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to, if he folds up and tells on everybody, because this life simply was never for him. He may have done certain things, you know, they got that one video out where it looks like they robbing some niggas. He may have been present. He may have pulled a trigger or two, nigga, but that was never really in him. And that's clear. And, you know, 6ix9ine is like so many different people. He's kind of like the poster child for niggas who just, he's the embodiment of portraying a lifestyle that he never lived. He is the embodiment of that. He's the embodiment, you know, he's like one of them CV4 niggas. He is the embodiment of being a faker. That whole persona that he had was all a ruse. You know, and I don't, like I said, I'm not going to get on Casanova right now, but, you know, one thing that he did say in his little statement, he said he looked that nigga in the eyes. You know, he's a little short nigga too, so you know the nigga can't, you know, it wasn't going to be no squabble. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what you got to say about Casanova. It ain't no fucking way 6ix9ine was going to, you know, put some hands on him. But he walked down on that nigga and looked him in the eyes, and they had a talk right in the height of their beef. And he looked that nigga in the eyes and he said he knew right then and there this was just a good kid. You know, a nigga who had nothing to do with that. He was dragged in, well, he wasn't dragged, but he slipped on that banana peel and decided to stay in that lifestyle. And it wasn't until too late that he tried to distance himself from all those people. He tried to distance himself from Shoddy. He tried to distance himself from all them other Treyway niggas. But like I said, unfortunately with the feds, all of that's irrelevant. And, you know, now he's trying to beat his case. And even though videos and songs and things aren't completely, don't completely hold up in court, that's always going to be in the back of that judge's mind. That judge knows the kind of video 6ix9ine put out, the different songs he was putting out. The jury is gonna know what kind of songs and videos and comments he was leaving all on Instagram, all on these different, blogs and everything, all these different interviews. They're gonna know. So when the defense team, I don't know if he has one, two, I don't know how many defense lawyers he has. I keep seeing that one white woman. I don't know if it's just her or not. But when his defense team is sitting there fighting for his life, and they're just trying to paint the image that, no, he's just a rapper. It was all just for show. It was all just for popularity. Woo. And even though all of that is true, even though he really wasn't about that street life, when they're saying all of that, it's going to be going in one ear and out the other for them judges and them jury. Because they're going to be looking at, the prosecution is going to pull up all those comments. They're going to pull up all these different videos. They're going to throw all that evidence that they've been compiling over the year or the past couple years or so. And it's not looking too good for them. It's not looking too good for them. These are the results of when you try to do something that you have no business doing, especially to the degree that 6ix9ine was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because, nigga, I'm from Atlanta, and there's a lot of rappers that are hot from Atlanta right now. I know a lot of these rappers that talk that gangster shit from Atlanta, they not about that. You know what I'm saying? They not. Some of them, not only are they not about that, but a lot of these niggas done had their whole cards pulled. You know what I'm saying? These niggas done it all, nigga. But I've never made videos coming out about that because for what? You know what I'm saying? It's one I know how the rap game is now. You gotta fake it till you make it. But faking it till you make it is one thing. But 6ix9ine had hit after hit after hit. Just #1 hit after hit after hit. Dummy Boy is now #2. It's damn near about to be #1. It's about to pass Astro World, Travis Scott's Astro World. But now he's got to look at that shit from behind a jail. He's got to look at it through a jail cell. He's got to hear about it on a phone. Because he kept going and going and going and going. The Trippie Redd situation was one thing. Then, nigga, you had, and this ain't in any order, but then, nigga, you had the situation with Keith and Reese. Then, nigga, you had the situation, well, Tato, Chief, all that shit is related. They all stem from the same thing. But then, nigga, you had the shit with Casanova. You had the shit where you told Kodak Black to suck your motherfucking dick. You had the shit with YG and Slim 400. But the whole time you were out here, nigga, you had those big ass 6'10", 7'11" ass niggas, 500 pounds in front of you, guarding you like how the Spartans used to do. You know how you saw 300 when they had the shields surrounding all the important people? You know what I'm saying? You were blocked in by all them big ass niggas, but the whole time you ran back on Instagram talking about sucking your dick and doing this and doing that. Fuck your dead brother. Fuck your homies. They killed your cousin, nigga, rolling up your cousin in a blunt and just all kind of disrespectful shit. But when you out on the streets, nigga, you got your own little team who are basically just security for you, them Treyway niggas. And then you got, like I said, these big ass Andre the Giant, Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know what I'm saying, Kane, Undertaker looking motherfuckers around you, protecting you. The shit was all just a ruse. And like I said, like I keep saying, it's too late to go back on it now. It's too late. Now he's got to face that. And he's only 23 years old. Imagine being 23 years old with your whole life in front of you, man. Let's just assume the nigga would live to be 80 years old. And we could even if it was 70, but let's just say 80 years old. That nigga's gonna be in jail for 57 more years if he gets life. He had 57 more years of life, and he may have to live the rest of his life behind a prison wall. With real killers, with real robbers, with real rapists, with real pedophiles, the real scum of the earth. This nigga's gonna have to share a prison with them for the rest of his life, potentially. Share the next 20 years of his life until he's 43, 44 years old for some shit that he had no business being a part of in the first place. All the while, he's got a baby mama at home that's looking at, I think he has is it a daughter or a son? I don't even know what gender his child is. I think it's a daughter. But all the while, his baby mama's back home stressing her mind out, trying to figure out how she's gonna raise how to raise their daughter if he gets convicted of this shit. All the while, he's got a mama at home trying to figure out what the fuck she's gonna do, figuring out where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? I thought I raised him so well, and first he got the rainbow hair, then he started hanging with them niggas, and then he got all the tattoos on his face, but he was making good music. He was making good money. I think he gave her like, was it 50,000 or $500,000? I just remember it was 5. But I remember he gave her hella money for her birthday earlier this year. He was doing so well. I was so proud of my boy. I never expected this out of him. I wanted him to go to college. I wanted him to do this. But now he's in jail, and the lawyer is calling me, telling me, or maybe he's calling me on the phone, telling me he might be in there for the rest of his life. Where did I go wrong? Some of his real friends, niggas that had nothing to do with all that bullshit, they looking back, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, they looking back, damn, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong with Daniel? Daniel was such a good kid. And now look at him, he's facing life in jail. These are the results of your actions, man. The situation is so sad. It's so sad. This nigga had his whole life. This nigga had #1 hits. His album is about to be #1. He was collaborating with Nicki Minaj, Kanye, Lil Baby, and all them niggas are still gonna be out on the streets doing their thing. And after a few years, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about you. Very rarely do niggas go to prison, especially in the beginning of their career, and remain relevant. Bobby Shmurda is one of the only niggas I know to have remained as relevant as he did while he's been in jail. You know what I'm saying? But even him, when he finally gets out, is he gonna be able to rebuild his buzz how he did before? Unlikely. I hope he does. I hope the best for him. But nigga, when you get out of, even if 6ix9ine beats all this, nigga, we know we not gonna be seeing him at least for a couple more years, nigga, because they've denied his bail. And nigga, those court dates aren't just, he's not going to court Monday morning. It don't even work that way, nigga. He's got to wait months and months before he can even. The situation is a long and lengthy process, and there's no way he's not going to lose years out of his life for some bullshit. So we know at the bare minimum he's going to lose years out of his life. We know at the bare minimum he's going to lose his buzz. We know at the bare minimum he's going to lose that momentum, because, nigga, you can't go to jail for 3-4 years and come out and just be rapping like everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? Especially depending on what happens in that courtroom, nigga, because if he starts snitching, well, I would say if he starts snitching, niggas ain't gonna respect him anymore. But the way that our generation and the way just our culture is right now, he could probably put the paperwork as his album cover, and for his next album, that he was a snitch, and people would still buy it. So the shit really don't even matter, man. But academics, he's gonna keep posting shit pertaining to his case, positive or negative, because 6ix9ine is his cash. What the fuck the word am I looking the term? Anyway, that's basically his claim to fame. Not claim to fame. Damn, I can't even think of the word I'm trying to think of, man. The little phrase. But basically, that's what's raking in all the attention and the money right now for academics. Posting about 6ix9ine, DJ Vlad, all these different people. They gonna keep doing their thing, and this nigga's gotta wither away in the jail. So man, free that man. Like I said, I don't agree with a lot of the shit he did, but I'd never wish jail on any man. So let me know what you think down below. And just, there's so many lessons to be learned from this situation. And one of the best lessons I think you could take from this is just stay true to yourself, man. All that extra shit, you know what I'm saying? I know it's enticing. I know it seems like that's what you need to do to be famous now, but leave that shit alone. And when older niggas who were seasoned, niggas who actually did, because can't nobody say no fake, no weird shit about Fat Joe's history. That nigga stamped and solid. You know what I'm saying? That nigga got stamped. That nigga stamped. I'm not gonna go into details, but that nigga stamped. Niggas know what he's about. When niggas like Fat Joe sit you down and look you in your eyes and say, nigga, look, I've really done that. I've really done that. And everybody in the world know I'm really about what I said I was about. Stop what you doing, nigga. Stop. And you don't listen, these are the results. These are the results. So, anyway, man, I appreciate you guys watching. Peace.